All right, let's jump right in. When you hear the word menopause, what's the first image that comes to your mind? Yeah, for most of us, it's a very specific, very gendered picture. But here's the thing, that picture leaves a lot of people out. Today, we're going to look beyond that binary and really understand a fundamental human transition that affects far more of us than the stories usually let on.
This quote, it just gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? For anyone who isn't a cisgender woman, our source material makes it clear that navigating this biological shift can make you feel completely invisible. We're talking about a feeling of erasure, and it's happening at a time when you need support the most. So, we're going to start by really zeroing in on this central conflict, how the standard menopause story, well, it creates this profound sense of invisibility for so many people.
And that leads us to a really crucial question. If it's not just a woman's journey, like we always hear, then who else is on this path? Let me tell you, the answer is way more expansive than most medical textbooks would lead you to believe. Here's the reality. Menopause is about biology, not identity. It's an experience that can happen to trans men, to non-binary people, some intersex individuals, and yes, even to detransitioners. Fundamentally, it's this simple. Anyone with ovaries can go through this hormonal shift. And just acknowledging that, that's the very first step toward creating more inclusive and, frankly, more effective care for everybody. Now, to really get a grip on these diverse experiences, we've got to look under the hood, We need to look at the biology. What is actually going on in the body during this big transition? First off, menopause isn't just one thing that happens. It's a whole process. It kicks off with perimenopause, which is this long transition phase. It can last for more than a decade, where symptoms start to creep in. Menopause itself, that's actually just a single day. It's the point where you've officially gone one full year without a period. And then, postmenopause is all the years that come after that.
Right at the center of this whole transition is a story about hormones. We hear tons about estrogen, right? It's the primary shifter, and its wild fluctuations are what cause those classic hot flashes. Then you've got progesterone, kind of the balancer, and its decline is often what messes with your mood and sleep first. But the hormone that's almost always overlooked, testosterone. It declines with age in all bodies with ovaries, hitting things like energy, mental clarity, and libido. And yet, we almost never talk about it outside of a male context.
It's also so important to understand what's called surgical menopause. See, this isn't a gradual shift at all. It's like hitting a hormonal brick wall. It's caused by the surgical removal of the ovaries, which can be a part of gender-affirming care. The symptoms can show up literally overnight and with a much greater intensity. It can be a real shock to the system.
And this all gets even more complex for trans men and non-binary people who are on testosterone. T-therapy, for many, stops periods, but that's the most common sign we use to track perimenopause. So the underlying hormonal shift can be delayed or masked or just go completely unnoticed until other symptoms pop up. And what happens if someone stops taking T? Well, those menopausal symptoms can come rushing in all at once.
Okay, so these biological shifts create huge personal challenges. And that leads us right into the experience of trying to navigate a medical system, and sometimes your own body, when both can feel completely alienating.
The sources we looked at bring up something really powerful, and often unexpected. Even for someone who is years into their transition, who feels really at home in their body, menopause can trigger a huge resurgence of gender dysphoria. It can feel like a total regression, like a betrayal by the very body you've worked so hard to align with your identity.
And there are specific symptoms that can be especially triggering, things like genital dryness or seeing your body fat shift around or having chest tenderness. These can be really stark physical reminders of a biology that doesn't match your gender. It can reopen old wounds. It's not just physical discomfort, it's a deep emotional and psychological challenge.
So what can we do? Well, here's a crucial point. Language matters. It matters immensely. Reclaiming the experience starts by reclaiming the words we use. So instead of a term like vaginal atrophy, we can just say genital tissue changes. Instead of framing it as a woman's journey, we can talk about your unique hormonal shift. This isn't just being picky with words, okay? It's a powerful tool for making healthcare feel tolerable and even affirming.
And that language reframing, it's part of a much bigger toolkit for advocating for yourself. The sources give us a really clear roadmap for how to protect your peace in medical settings. It all starts with preparing ahead and setting the tone. But I really want you to pay attention to step 4. You always have the right to say no. No to any part of an exam you're not comfortable with. These steps are all about taking back your agency.
So, how do we get from this place of feeling erased and challenged to a place of feeling empowered? It all starts with reclaiming the entire narrative. This is all about a fundamental shift in your mindset. You can reframe this transition not as a loss, but as a kind of liberation. It's a chance to reconnect with the body that has carried you this far, to rewrite your own personal story of what aging even looks like, and to simply refuse to be silent or invisible. This is an active, powerful stance you can take.
And the best part is, you don't have to do any of this alone. The source material emphasizes this over and over again. Community is an absolute lifeline. Finding other people who just get it, who've lived a similar experience, that transforms the feeling of isolation into one of powerful solidarity and incredible shared strength. So, in the end, this is about so much more than just hot flashes or hormones. It's a profound human transition that crosses paths with identity, with survival, and with aging. It's a story of resilience. And so the real question isn't about how you'll survive it. It's about how you will reclaim it on your own terms.